Okay. Well, good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you come from. I guess it's good afternoon everywhere. Well, no, it's good morning for you guys. No, it's good morning. It's good morning.
For us.
It's noon for me. Good morning for you guys. Okay. So it's been a few weeks, but I just wanted to kind of go over some travel updates, talk about, I just did a cruise and a trip to New Orleans during spring break. So that was pretty interesting. So maybe talk about what I found out there and talk about Hawaii. Some exciting stuff with Hawaii. And then I found a resort in Florida that I thought I would share. It's
yeah?
Yeah, it's an adult only all-inclusive resort in the Florida Keys.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good find.
So yeah. So let me go ahead and get out of the full screen for this. You want me just to start with my little summary of my trip, or you have anything you want to?
I want to hear about it.
So my friend from Arizona flew into Chattanooga, and then we drove. Oh, here's Vijal.
Yay!
Hey, hello. I was just going to give a little summary of my recent trip, and then we'll get into talking about the USA travel news and what. So my friend flew to Chattanooga, and we drove down to New Orleans, spent a few days there, and then left on a Carnival cruise ship, the Carnival Glory from New Orleans. And we stopped in Montego Bay, Jamaica, Grand Cayman and the Cayman Islands, and then Cozumel in Mexico, and came back. I had only done an overnight in New Orleans, so that was my first time really actually getting to explore that city. And during spring break, that was pretty crazy. So I wonder if we can hear it. I have a couple of videos that I'm just going to play just to give an idea. Like, I think they give good overviews. If you guys are on my Facebook, you might have already seen this one. This was from New Orleans that the night we went to Bourbon Street. I think it might have been a Friday night. I don't know. But anyways, this gives a good idea of what that was like. Can you guys hear the sound? No?
No.
I can hear it.
I think I can barely hear it. Yeah.
Can you not hear it either, Vijal? And for some reason you're on mute.
I muted myself, so in case there was any background noise. But I'm unmuted now.
Let's see. Oops. It went away. Hold on. I wonder if why you guys can't hear the sound. I'm trying to figure out why I can't hear this. You can't hear the sound on that. Let me see. So strange. There's got to be some type of button I'm missing. It kind of needs the sound. Let's see. I wonder if I download it and play it. Well, go ahead. I'll let you guys talk about some stuff. I'm going to take this off of here and then see if I can get that, and then I'll finish my trip story. So any new exciting news that you guys have read about or heard about lately?
Well, it was funny. I was on the phone with Globus the other day, and they were telling me about their Sea to Shining Sea packages now. So they actually have expanded their U.S. Tours through Cosmos. So they're really focusing on the U.S. as well now instead of just internationally. So that's cool.
Sorry about
that. It works now.
Yeah, it works.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You can play it. If you got to play it,
okay. Okay. So yeah. So this was my night in New Orleans spring break on Bourbon Street. it was like Fremont Street on steroids. Like in Vegas, like I had it's Detroit, it's almost over. It's everybody else out. I don't know if you guys have been there before, but I hadn't, so I was like,
it's fun. It's a party.
Yeah.
It's a party.
So, and we didn't just do that part. We did a lot of other stuff. So we did a city tour. We did a foodie tour. We did the jazz cruise on the river. So we got to see quite a bit of the city. I definitely can't wait to go back. I can't wait to bring my family because I think even my kids, well, my 16-year-old would have a good time. So for some reason you're muted again, Teresa.
I'm not. Oh, I'm not.
I'm muting to get my dog out of the room.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if you knew. So, but just such a fun city. If you stay at any of the hotels by Bourbon Street, you're not going to get much sleep though. So I was looking at those hotels. I'm like, those people probably are there to sleep because that's really loud. We went, and so interesting. I know it will probably be changing because all the mandates are changing, but interesting for people to know that, like, especially on Frenchman Street, they were asking for vaccination cards before they let you in to some of the establishments. Bourbon Street, nobody cared about anything. Like, you could be half naked. They didn't like have 3 heads. They didn't care. So they let you in, but some of the other areas were a little bit different about that, requiring masks or wanting to see vaccination cards. So just so people know, if they travel anytime in the near future, they may come into that, but there's still plenty that you can do. Even if you're not vaccinated or don't have your card to show.
Right.
They did have a way to get around it. You could have your test results and show those instead of a vaccination card. The only tour we did that required anything like that was the river cruise. The Jazz River Cruise required either proof of vaccination or a proof of a negative PCR, or what's the other one? The other test, just a negative test. But just really cool. The city tour was super, super informative. Like, the guy who did it was like a first responder during Katrina. So he took us and like gave us a pretty good insider's view of talking about like what it was like before, during, and then after, like the cleanup and what people had to go through to get that city back and get their lives in order. And kind of just some stuff was a little depressing, but I like getting the full story on things, so I thought it was really interesting. We went to the big park. I can't think of the name of it now, and like it's bigger than Grant. Oh my gosh, my brain. Sorry. What's the park? Central Park. It's bigger than Central Park. So, and I didn't know that. So that was pretty cool. And then we got on the cruise. So. And I want to say, this is a little disclaimer about the cruises, because I have been hearing a lot of like, oh, I hate Carnival, or ooh, I love Carnival, or so. There's first things I want to say, like different cruises for different situations and for different people, obviously. Like I am getting to the age where I probably am less of a Carnival cruiser myself, because I like the downtime, and I'm really into like food, like really good food. But I have to say the food was actually pretty good on this last cruise. It really depends who the head chef is on your cruise. Like it can vary. And that's the thing too, like not every Carnival cruise is going to be like the other ones. Like it depends. Are you on an old boat? Are you on one of the brand new boats? If you're on the Mardi Gras, it's going to be a completely different experience than cruising on the Glory that I was just on, because it's an older boat. It has less stuff. It's, it felt we were kind of crammed together. There's a lot of people on the boat. So it just really varies. And it like depends on like for groups. If I'm taking a group of people, like I would do Carnival any day, because they have so much going on. Like I don't have to entertain everybody. Like people go do karaoke, or they can go do bingo, or they can go gamble in the casino, or they can go lay up on the sun loungers, or whatever, go eat in the buffet 10 times a day. I don't have to worry about them. Like we can get together and have dinner together or do some things together, but like they can entertain themselves. So for groups, I really like, and I'm sure I haven't actually sailed Royal or Norwegian yet. I'm sure that they're very similar in that way to Carnival. But like Nate and I are taking a Holland cruise in December, and I'm personally like looking forward to that, because like my life is busy. I kind of like, I didn't do that much on this cruise. I kind of hung out in my cabin. Like I would go to the gym. I love to go to the gym. I'll like go to the gym, go sit in the steam room in the sauna and go take a shower in the spa. Like nobody knows, but like the showers in the spa are so much nicer than the showers in your cabin. They're big. They have like
They really
hot
are.
water, and they have like a good like water pressure. And so, anyways, that was my jam. I want to show you guys one more video, and then we will talk about other stuff. Let me see if I can do it. It's going to start immediately, so that's why I'm just going to tell you guys. Let's see this, and this explains what it's like to in a video to go on a cruise, probably any major cruise.
All I want you to do is arch your back and shake your booty. Come on, shake, come on, shake, come on.
There were
packed.
so many people. There were
So many people.
So, and that's how it was pretty much the whole time. Like, I didn't get in the hot tub not one time because it was like a whole frothy mess of like bodies. Woo! There was a lot of bodies in that hot tub, and I was like,
It's like I'm gonna go take a steam.
Not many people in the gym. I mean, the gym is somewhat busy, especially the first day when everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna work out," and then they go get drunk and gamble. So anyway, so the gym was more my jam. I go sit in the steam room, but So anyways, it was really fun though. I mean, I was super excited. I hadn't been to Grand Cayman before.
How'd you like
guys
it?
Been there?
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay. Yeah, I really liked it. It's beautiful. It's, it's a wealthy island. They don't really need tourism. I guess we're lucky they let us come because they don't really need them. And just seeing all the mansions. They had these little like cabana like cabin thing. Well, they weren't cabins. They were nice. They looked like I don't know, like little beach houses, but they were set up, and the guide told us they were like $1.6 million. They were like tiny houses, like they weren't even that big. They were like something you would maybe do an Airbnb, but yeah. So anyways, probably not going to be moving there anytime soon, but but I liked visiting. We did like an island. It was Cayman in a nutshell was the tour we did there. And that was really cool. We went and snorkeled with stingrays and like got to see like all sorts of cool stuff. Reefs, they have really vibrant, alive reefs, which is nice to see. Then we did Stingray City. Is that what it's? Stingray City, yeah. Where they like you kiss them and they put them on your back and you feed them and stuff.
Yeah, we were there too.
Yeah. Okay, there's no photo of you kissing a stingray. I need the
I think my friend might have tried to take one. I have so many photos. I haven't gone through all of them yet, but and then we did like a island tour, which we booked the tour through another company off the cruise line, which is I try to do most of the time. And seriously, like there was like nobody on our boat. Like we had there was like 9 of us total on this beautiful boat for the snorkeling and the Stingray City, where the boats that had the cruise line people came in and they looked like the cruise. Like they were so full, it looked like people are about to fall off. So I was glad we did. And then our island tour, it was just my friend and I. We got a private tour for like a group tour price because we booked outside of the cruise line. So that was kind of cool. We got this really cool island guy. Took us to the Hell, they call it Hell, in the turtle sanctuary or turtle farm. And we went and ate at like a local restaurant and stuff. So it was really cool. I enjoyed that. I wanted to see as much as I could because I don't know when I'll get back there again. That's not a stop that I haven't done a lot of Caribbean cruises, but I've been trying to like get at least a new destination at a time. And then in Montego Bay, we just stopped at Breathless and did a day pass there, which that was really nice. I walked around that whole complex, never been there before. It's 2 secrets, and then the Breathless are all part of this like complex, and it's like super, super nice. And it was like 7 minutes from the cruise terminal. Like we could see it from the cruise terminal. So that was nice. And then Cozumel, we were supposed to do a resort tour, but it was really like bad weather. So like the ocean was rough. So it took them like an hour and a half extra to dock. And so by the time we got to port, we're like, we'll just hang around port. So, but
yeah,
it was good. It was a good trip. And I enjoyed myself. So, okay, you guys have been doing a lot of Hawaii. Why don't you tell me what's going on with Hawaii?
A lot of Hawaii. I'll let you go first, and then I'll talk about the excursion part if you want to go on the sensei.
So we had a younger couple. They're in their 30s. They have 2 young children. They're professionals out of the Bay Area, like the Silicon Valley, what we call, I guess. I mean, they're just they're tech people, and they wanted to get away. They usually don't get a lot of vacations. They wanted to get away just for 3 or 4 nights. We originally looked at Mexico for them, but then we found out that one of their passports expires at the end of April, so we could not send them to Mexico. And they did not want to go to a place that was going to have young children. They were getting away from their young children. They didn't want any
Yep.
children there. So Teresa and I looked around. Actually, Teresa's the one that found the sensei. And originally, when I pitched it to them, I told them that here we have this resort. It's 16 and older, so there's no young kids running around. They said, well, it's a 4 Seasons, and 4 Seasons are really expensive. We're not going to be able to afford it. But this 4 Seasons right now is having some spectacular specials.
Sales, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I can share my screen to show, but show the website. They have experiences. So you can book a base package, a base rate, but just for a couple $100 more per night, you can actually book the experiences. And it's not just the spa experiences. They have clay shooting. They have snorkeling sail. They have a sunset sail.
Horseback riding.
They have so much stuff that you can do. And then what you get is a resort credit. So by paying a couple $100 more per night to them, not per person, just total, they actually were getting $600 of resort credit to use towards these experiences. $600 per night. So they actually got $1,200 to use for these experiences. And they got to do a lot of cool stuff. And the other thing, this is on a private island. So you fly into Honolulu, and then the price of the hotel includes your private flight to the island overnight. And it's nice. And they cater it around your schedule. So their flight gets in at 9:30 into Honolulu, and their flight out of Honolulu to Lanai Island leaves at 11. So it's not like they're waiting around for other passengers. It's specifically for them. It's a full-on VIP experience. The staff is just been amazing. With 4 Seasons. They've contacted the client, and they've set up a Zoom meeting with them, and gone through the spa packages, gone through the experiences, and they also, for us travel agents, they are giving a gift to the client when they arrive, with my name and Teresa's name written on the thank you card, without even asking, without even saying, hey, what can I leave for my client in the room? A bottle of wine, a bottle of champagne. How much is it going to be? They've already arranged for the free gift in the room. Unfortunately, the clients have to reschedule because their youngest daughter got COVID, and even the rescheduling process
was easy.
It wasn't being on hold for hours and saying, hey, please, this is what happened. Oh, they have insurance or this or that. It was, I'm sorry, my clients got COVID. We were within cancellation. We were within 100% penalty. And they said, well, if you can give us a date today to when they can reschedule, we're not going to charge them anything.
Wow.
We'll reschedule them for the next time that they want to come. So within that day, I got the new dates. We rescheduled them. They reached out to Lanai Air, and Lanai Air came back to me and said, we hear your clients aren't coming. Can you give us a new date that they're coming? I mean, it was so efficient and it was so well done. I would not hesitate to book this ever again. And they're so excited because they actually had a resort get in touch with them and say, hey, what do you like to eat? What do you guys like to do? What do you want in their room? I mean, so many different options were given to them that they feel like this is really going to be the experience that they need to de-stress and to have just this wonderful experience. It's not just a hotel stay. It's a full-on experience from the time that they arrive into Honolulu to the time that they leave. So we were really impressed by them.
Well, that's awesome. And that brings up like a good point that I try to tell people too, like when it comes to your vacation and how much it costs and stuff like that. Like people don't understand the value sometimes, the differences of costs compared to going to like a budget all-inclusive to going to even like the nicer all-inclusives. Like there's just a difference that it's really hard to put a value on, but once you've experienced it, it's like really hard to go back afterwards. Like people don't understand, like it is. And you want that experience because this is your time that you've saved for. You know, a lot of people only get a limited amount of vacation time. You have a limited vacation budget. So I always think it's worth the splurge, but it is sometimes hard to convince people. But I bet these clients, you won't, yeah, well, yeah.
This was actually, he was surprised when he said, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to afford Four Seasons." I said, "Well, let's call them and ask. Let's find out how much they are."
Yeah.
And it was actually the same price after everything. Now, the food's not going to be covered because you can't use your resort credit towards food or spa. But the whole package, not, you know, if you don't include the food, was about the same price as what he was going to do for an all-inclusive, 5-star all-inclusive in Mexico.
Yeah.
So,
But no food is covered in Hawaii. No, nobody's
food is
gonna.
covered.
Yeah, so the experiences that they get, and they were pretty neck and neck with some of our favorite high-end resorts.
They were very
they were getting the experiences on top of that and the private flights. So
nice. Yeah, that's really good to know. And I mean, it looks just amazing. It looks like paradise,
amazing.
like what you expect to go when you go to paradise. That's what it looks like. So.
And the other thing you get with this is because there's only the private island is only for Four Seasons, so they have 2 Four Seasons properties on there. So this one is actually set off from the beach, about 20 minutes away. They give you a free ride there, and it's not in a shuttle, like, you know, a little minivan or a shuttle. It is in a full-on town car to go to the beach.
Yeah.
And they have sister property of the other Four Seasons that's on the beach, and you can use all of their facilities except for the pool. And it's a private beach. So if you do want to go to the beach one day, the car will take you, will pick you up, and you can use their property as well.
And then did one of you guys want to talk about this, the travel, the changes for Hawaii?
Go ahead.
We're so excited. Some places may still ask for masks, but you no longer have to get a COVID test going in, which is also reminiscent of Costa Rica too now. So they kind of back to back drop their requirements going in, which is nice because it's really hard to be like, okay, and on top of everything you're paying, you know, now you got to go pay for a COVID test to leave too. And you've got to get it within this time frame and hope nothing messes up so you can get on your flight. So them dropping the requirement of that has really made our lives easier because Vigil and I have clients leaving tomorrow and they could not find a COVID test to save their lives. They were panicking and calling Vigil. She's like, okay, calm down. Yeah. You don't have to anymore. But I mean, it's been harder and harder for our clients to get in on the specified time frame to fly out with COVID tests because they're just booking up like crazy. So it's making our lives a lot easier.
They've changed them. So that was something interesting when I went and had my COVID test before the cruise. It was almost like a physical appointment. And so they're taking a lot longer. So the doctors or the nurses can't see as many people. They pulled me in, did my blood pressure, my pulse, asked me my medical history. She's like, and the nurse said it's because they're classifying it as endemic instead of pandemic now or something. Yep. So they do a different test process. So that's amazing. I believe, I don't want to misquote, but I think St. Lucia just dropped their.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I'm glad they went endemic finally because we're used to that with the flu every season, and so I think it's going to be a little less scary and easier for people to navigate with it being said as an endemic. I was waiting for that. I haven't heard anyone come out and say it yet, but it makes sense that they're doing everything like you would if you're going in for a physical. It is going to take longer to get you through those appointments.
Yeah, and at some point they'll probably start charging too. So it'll be nice the places that you don't have to do it unless because I don't have insurance. So I was like, I don't have insurance. How much does it cost? She said, no, they're still covering it under the federal program, but I can imagine soon. So and it's stressful because I went and had my COVID test for the cruise because cruises you still have to do it. And for some reason, the lady was chatty or something. She's started calling my phone. We're on my foodie tour, and I'm starting to get a phone call from Walgreens, and I'm like, and that made me think oh gosh, I'm positive. Oh no, I'm here in New Orleans, I'm about to get on this cruise ship. What am I gonna do? So I understand what our clients go through because it makes it so stressful. You're waiting on the edge of your seat to get that negative test so you can like go on your trip. And then if
Yeah.
you get a positive one, then you're like,
And then you
know.
have to jump, because we had that with our clients going to Turks and Caicos. They tested positive, and we were like, and it's within 24 hours, and you're jumping to get that, you know, let the airlines know they're not coming, let the hotel know they're not coming. We were jumping through hoops, and so, and luckily we got them rescheduled for May, but it is a lot to get done if you do test positive right before departure.
And I know we're talking about the U.S., but I just wanted to pull it up to make sure I was telling the right. It's so for vaccinated travelers, there's no test required now for St. Lucia as well.
So we do have a lot of people that want to go the U.S. trips now, more than we've ever seen before. And I think our vendors are responding in with, like I said, I was talking about Globus or Cosmos, and they have some really good tours that they've just opened up in the U.S. So if I could touch on that for a minute.
Sure. Let me see if I can pull it up while you're talking about it. You talk about it, and I'll see if I can find what you're talking about.
Cosmos, and one of the ones I wanted to take a look at was historic trails in Blue Ridge Mountains. And,
cool.
And that's actually a really cool tour, because it goes from it stays within the United States. It includes your breakfast. It includes your accommodations. And this tour takes you it starts in Washington, D.C. and ends in Washington, D.C. So it takes you to Shenandoah National Park. It takes you to New River Gorge Bridge, Gettysburg Battlefield, Great Smoky Mountains, Colonial Williamsburg, Museum of Appalachia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Sinking Springs, Arlington Cemetery, Vietnam Memorial, Newfound Gap Road, Monticello Estates, the Colonel Sanders Museum.
Oh, I'm on that.
No, that's important. Colonel Sanders Museum.
Colonel Sanders is important, yes.
History. I mean, it really is. So Biltmore Estate, the Natural Bridge, and of course, Washington, D.C., you have the Mount Vernon, Capitol Hill, White House, Mabry Hill, Gatlinburg. I mean, this is just Dollywood. I mean, it takes you everywhere. So, and you have tour guides. So the tour guides will tell you, all the history of the place. You're not just going and kind of just mumbling around on your own. You're getting the full history of a place, all the little fun facts and everything. So that's one of the ones that they offer right now for 2022. They also have, and Globus is really pushing they're calling Globus is the parent company. So Cosmos, Monograms, and AMA Waterways are all under that umbrella. But they have the Cosmos tours, and they're really pushing the undiscovered North America. And one of the other tours they have is exploring the Pacific Northwest. They have a Western Canada with Inside Passage, and they have all of Alaska and the Yukon. So if you don't like cruises, but you want to go to Alaska, that's a 12-day 2-country tour that you can do with Globus. And it's also a small group discovery tour. So you're not going to be on one of those big,
tour buses.
Buses. You're going to be in a smaller group, and again, everything's included. So other than your flight to and from, it includes your breakfast, at least one meal usually. It includes your tours, your transportation, and your hotel.
That's good.
Yeah, that looks like good. I have somebody who's actually looking into a Alaska cruise tour, so I might have to give her these options too. Because I know like Princess and Holland do a pretty good job with their cruise tours, but it's always nice to give. I like to give my clients some other options.
My husband does not like cruises because he spent 5 years on a boat, and as soon as he steps on a boat, it takes him back to military days, and he's like, I don't want to be on a boat, but I'd love to go to Alaska. So people like that don't really want to cruise, they want to experience that region. This is a great little tour.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are some great options. Yeah, I know a lot of the tour companies have been moving more towards offering more USA options, especially now. So it's great because even as things get better with the pandemic, it's like some people are still kind of hesitant to travel just because the world is a little crazy right now. So, and it might be for a while. I wanted to tell you guys about, I was looking up some Florida travel options for a client. And I had heard about this resort, but I hadn't, it had a fire, I think, right after it first opened. And so now it's open again. It's been open for a while, but if you have people that want to do something like a sandals type of situation, but they want to stay in the USA, there is an adults only all-inclusive in the Keys
Wow.
Bungalows. Key Largo is what it's called. Now, it is not cheap. I gave him the code and I had sticker shock. He had a little sticker shock. But it is all inclusive. Like all your food and everything is included. And activities are included, but I mean, it's just a really nice property. It's definitely like high quality, all inclusive. And it's in a beautiful location. So yeah, you have your 24-hour guest services, drinks and refreshments, meals including small bites and fine dining, premium alcoholic beverages, selected wines, kayak, stand-up paddleboard, snorkel gear, water trikes, group yoga classes, fitness tiki, whatever that is, recreational amenities, in-town transportation within a 5-mile radius, Wi-Fi, pool and jacuzzi, another one, on-site concierge, cruiser bikes for use on the property only, daily housekeeping, turn down service. And then the rooms are just like really beautiful. You guys can see. And just a really nice. So if you have somebody who wants that really all-inclusive, adults only option here in the USA, so far, this is the only one that I've found that's like truly, besides Club Med, but that's not adults only. So you have Club Med in Florida, which is on a river. It's not on the ocean. In Port St. Lucie, Florida. It does have children. I've been to that one before. It's the accommodations I'd say are kind of like Holiday Inn Express maybe level. They're not super fancy, but the food was really good there. The grounds are beautiful. That one's really good for groups. Like they do a lot of sports groups because they do all the sports stuff at Club Med. I don't know if you guys have been to one, but they're all into the tennis and all sorts of sports. And they actually have classes that you can do. They'll teach you how to play. I think I did the tennis one, which I'm not very good at tennis, but I did the tennis class. They have the like circus, what's it called? Like the trapeze. You can do the trapeze stuff at Club Med. It's just a really interesting. Club Med is kind of a flavor that if you like Club Med, you're probably a Club Med person for life because it's just a really unique resort offering. But they have one of those in Florida, and then they have this. So just something to keep in your tool chest there if you have those clients that just don't want to leave the USA, but they're looking for this kind of experience like you would get at a nicer all-inclusive in the Caribbean or Mexico. This is definitely an option. And it's not horribly far from like the airport if you fly into Miami. So you could fly into Miami. Well, there's an airport obviously in the Keys too, but that airport is usually a little bit more expensive to fly into. But you could definitely fly into Miami and get a transfer down, and it wouldn't be awful. It wouldn't be any worse than like flying into St. Lucia and having to get the transfer to Sandals.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a little bit better because that is a crazy drive. So, but that is all I have. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, just booking like crazy. Hawaii's hot right now. So lots of Hawaii, lots of Costa Rica. Doing a lot with, we have a big lengthy trip for Europe, which is several stops in Italy and then going into Greece, which is great. So that's a lot of fun to be curating that for them. But other than that, I think Hawaii is like outdoing Mexico right now.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, and like I was talking about the cruises too, just to let people know, Carnival, I think yesterday after hours, my husband does stocks, so I hear all sorts of information about, they had their biggest sales day of all time ever.
Yesterday, I believe it. I was on the phone with them. Yeah. It was forever.
Yeah. I don't know if it was yesterday, if it was like the weekend prior, because they released the news yesterday, so that affected like the stocks and stuff. But it just happened like a few days ago that they had their all-time. So definitely, if you've been on the fence about travel, get going, because prices, as demand goes up, prices go up, and flights are going. I could see cruising actually becoming pretty popular this year just because of how expensive flights are getting. So you can drive, just drive to the port. Like, I mean, that's Carnival's big thing, is like they say that there's a cruise port 5 hours from most citizens in the United States. And it's true. I mean, they go out of Louisiana, Alabama, North Carolina, Florida, obviously, California, New York, they go out of somewhere else in the Northeast. I'm trying to remember, but and then they also go out of they don't go out of San Francisco. Princess goes out of San Francisco. I don't think Carnival. Well, maybe they do, but Seattle, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have quite a few options, and then but of course on the West Coast there's a lot more ships moving over there too. Royal Caribbean and Norwegian are going out of LA or Long Beach now. Disney does come out of there a few like as they're moving around, transitioning from Alaska.
And Norwegian now has a ship dedicated to just Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
The Norwegian Star has now been dedicated just to Hawaii, so it's just going to go back and forth from LA to Hawaii.
Okay.
So that's nice. If you want to cruise to Hawaii.
And then they have the one that goes around Hawaii. That's been there for a while.
Yeah.
The Pride of America, I think it's called. Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend who's going on that cruise. That's actually a really decent option to see Hawaii because you get to see all the islands and you sleep while you move, from island to island. And
your food is covered. So
your food is, even though you're probably off the boat most of the time. So I don't know how big of a pull that is. Cause if I'm I'm not going to rush back to get my Carnival or my Norwegian food or whatever. I'm going to probably eat on the island, even though it's expensive, but yeah. So, well, it was great seeing you guys. It's been a bit. So, but just let me know if anything else, and we'll try to do this next week. Yeah, I'll try to do this next week. So let me know if you guys are available and think about something to talk about. I'm going to be meeting with the AIC Hard Rock BDM. I think next week. I don't know if I'll do it before the meeting or not. So he's probably going to give me some interesting information. He kind of gave me some stuff at our last meeting, but it'll be nice to get a one-on-one.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like we had a comment. I wasn't even paying attention. Let me see if I can see what it is before I. Everyone wants to know, what cruise line can I book that does not require a test? Are there any? There are none that I know of right now. I think every single one of them, including even the USA River cruises,
are requiring tests. They haven't lifted that yet. So,
but I think it should happen before too long. Just with the changes that are being made, like having Hawaii make that change was a big step, and some of these other countries doing it. I could see that changing
soon.
The cruise lines just always kind of they're the last ones just because they get all the negative. I mean, it kind of started back in March. Was it March of 2020?
2020.
That Princess Cruise was the first one that kind of got the you can't even come into port. And float out in the ocean for a while.
Stay away.
They have to be a little bit.
I think it's going to change. I think it will change. I think they have to go through some hoops to get it changed, but I think it's on its way to that.
I think the CDC just released something saying that they weren't going to make any more rules or requirements for the cruise lines or something like that. In regards to the pandemic. So yeah, it's on its way, and we'll let people know soon. I'm trying to anything, and if you guys see any posts like that of regulations being dropped and stuff like that, if you could just drop that in our Travel Tribe group. I'm trying to anytime I see something like that, let people know. Just because there's a lot coming out right now. I'm getting new stuff in my email daily and seeing it on Facebook. A lot of times I'll see it on Facebook. I won't necessarily see the email, but I'll see somebody else saying hey, this one was dropped. So it's good news. It's exciting, but okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with me, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And
we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.